One frozen lake in Wisconsin to the Rock River right here in Rockford. Here's a live look from the Rockford River Walk right behind the Discovery Center Museum, and you can see how frozen that river is right there. I mean, we had those frigidly cold temperatures this week, so you can see why it looks like that, but it's still a pretty sight to see. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just neat to see just that frozen river right there and what you can do with that. Alex, there are some concerns about flooding possibly though, right?
So that was a concern leading up until now. What's nice to see, though, is that the river is pretty well frozen over, so that may cut down on flooding threats into tomorrow morning. So that completely frozen river is maybe a welcome sign in this case. Also, by the way, don't go walking out on that ice right now. It's too fresh, way too thin, and river ice is a lot more dangerous than lake ice, and you definitely want several feet of that before you even bother venturing out. So when we're talking about any kind of flooding threats, it's because of ice jams. So earlier in the week, even over the weekend, we saw a lot of chunks of ice floating around. Those could get caught on things like bridges and overpasses and cause sudden flooding. That's why we have a flood watch out for Winnebago County through Thursday morning. But like I mentioned, because everything's pretty well frozen over, there's less of those chunks to get caught on things like the Jefferson Street Bridge, for instance, that may cause some flooding. And that's what happens with ice jams is you get that cold air, that rapid ice buildup, and as long as the river's not frozen over, you've got all these chunks of ice floating around that could get stuck on things like bridges, overpasses, forming a dam behind them and causing that flooding. But because things are starting to firm up a little bit on that ice cover, may not see that threat for too much longer. That's why that flood watch doesn't go past tomorrow morning. And the cold temperature is definitely helping here, low 20s to upper teens right now. Pretty typical levels of chill for early February. So even though it is chilly outside, we're not looking at any kind of deep freezes for tonight or tomorrow. It's that kind of average level of cold for February. The rest of this evening, you can see temperatures down into the low 20s to the wind chill in the single digits. So plan on possibly waking up tomorrow morning with that wind chill right at about 0, which does mean a brisk start to tomorrow. But again, this is not unheard of for February 1st going into February 2nd. By tomorrow afternoon, same story like today. Lots of sunshine, temperatures in the mid-20s for highs. May feel a little colder than that because there's some breezy winds gusting at times to 20 miles per hour. By the way, tomorrow is Groundhog Day. The little urban legend has it if the groundhog sees its shadow, it's 6 more weeks of winter. Keep in mind the groundhog isn't a meteorologist, so winter's going to go on regardless, and we definitely see that the rest of this week. High pressure keeping everything sunny and quiet for now, but as this moves out tomorrow, cold air from the Arctic moves in on Friday, so we see a pretty big drop in temperatures down into the single digits for highs by Friday afternoon. That could mean wind chills as low as minus 25 by Friday morning, but what goes down comes right back up again. In this case, we see a big reversal going into the weekend, going from 8 above for a high to right at about freezing for Saturday and Sunday. So even warmer weather ahead for this weekend with some quiet conditions. Then as we go into early next week, we're tracking 40s and rain showers. So we go from Arctic cold to a preview of March in that extended forecast. In your most accurate 10-day forecast, the weather stays relatively warm for this time of year going throughout next week. So we saw a lot of warmth in January, got away from it a little bit, but now looking at that warmth possibly returning for a good week once we get to next week.
Yeah, looking forward to those mild days, Alex. Thanks.